Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This will be another video of me praising Kodak Vision 3 film, but it's too good to not to, so here we are. By the way, I already have one video about this particular film. If you want to check it out, it's gonna be somewhere in one of these corners. I highly recommend you trying this film if you haven't already, especially if you develop film by yourself. All of these pictures I've shot with this camera, it's Pentax MZ6. And for the lens, I think I've used for the majority of shots, I've used 28mm lens, but I also have 50mm. I probably used both of these lenses. They are very similar looking and it's really hard to tell from the video. As far as light goes, I've used Nanlite FS300. This is 300 watt LED daylight balance. It's very bright and I blasted it at full power, so it lit up pretty much the whole room. On top of this light, I've used orange-yellow gel. I did use light meter built-in camera and my aperture was 5.6 or something like that, because I really didn't want that shallow depth of field and I wanted to capture more of the environment. Huge thanks to Jade for modeling, literally one of the best models in Seattle area. I highly recommend working with her. She's very natural, she knows how to move. I'm gonna show you a full roll. It's about 40 pictures. And honestly, they turned out pretty good. Some of them were slightly misfocused. This is just my fault and it happens all the time.
Oh, 737. Don't be scared. The sky knows you're spared. Hands up off the wheel, let go. Hands up off the wheel, let go. Time is limitless. You are endless. Above is below. An exabyte, a terabyte. How big is your mind? How wide is this ride? 10737. 10737. Don't be scared. The trees got your head. Hands up off the wheel, let go. Hands up off the wheel, let go. One, oh, 737 4 1 8 2 4. Ignore me, sell it for 1 8 2 4.
While I'm at it, I would like to show how I convert my negatives in Negative Lab Pro. So far, I have found that Vision 3 film is the easiest film to convert. I don't know the magic behind it, but every time I use Negative Lab Pro with specifically Vision 3 films, I don't even need to make any adjustments. The default settings just work. I scan my negatives with digital camera. I use Sony A7R4 and I don't have a macro lens. I use macro adapter rings, and when I scan 35mm film, I do have to crop it aggressively, but my camera has a lot of megapixels to begin with, so I can crop quite a lot and still can get decent quality image. Okay, so I'm in the Lightroom, and first thing I'm gonna sample white balance and crop the image. Then I'm gonna go into Negative Lab Pro. For Windows, the hotkeys are Ctrl-Alt-N. As the source, I choose digital camera, that's my scanning method. Color model Frontier. Honestly, I didn't see any difference between Frontier and Noritsu, so I just leave these default settings. Then I hit Convert Negatives, and this is how Negative Lab Pro default settings look like. It's a decent conversion to begin with, but let's just fine-tune it. So usually I would go into tones and pick one of the cinematic or linear. I'll just go through all of them and see what works for this particular set of images. Gonna stick with linear deep. I like it. Then I would click soft highs and soft lows. Then would go into white balance and go through these presets. I'm gonna choose auto warm and just shift it to the left tiny bit, like so. Then let's go into lab glow and lab fade, see what these settings are gonna do here. Brightness, exposure, I think exposure is fine. I would decrease the contrast, to be honest. This looks pretty good already. I'm gonna go into these mids, highs and shadows. Into highs, I probably would like to add a little bit of blue, and into midtones I would actually like to add a little bit of red, and maybe even a bit of blue. And into shadows, let's put one cyan and blues -3, and leave this as is. Maybe a white balance, maybe make it a little bit warmer, like this. I hit save here, so I can paste the same settings to the rest of the images. This is how I convert my negatives.